So when can you start? I'm like, and all we see is this car up in flames. Mind you, I'm a little tuned in, right? First of all, why are you getting steak bagels from McDonald's anyway? YN. I honestly try to avoid the place as much as possible. New angle unlocked. It's actually kind of a camp angle. I kind of like that the walls are clear here, but like at the same time I prefer that you guys see everything at the back. Wait, I was supposed to start this intro. What's this video gonna be about again? Y'all, it's time. It's time for the horror story. I think enough time has passed that I can finally tell y'all everything I went through while working at McDonald's. I'll let the trash over there while we start with the hiring process. Yeah, let's do that. Let's really start with the hiring process. Let me actually raise the camera angle. Okay, so the story really starts off like 2.5 years ago, right? And I was literally a very broke 16-year-old. And over the summer, I tried to get a job over the summer, which if you know the hiring market, never try to get a job directly in the center of summer because everybody has a job directly in the center of summer. We were in a McDonald's drive-thru and they're like, well, McDonald's hires anybody. Clearly, because, okay, so right, I apply and then literally like I get a text the next day and they're like, you wanna come in for an interview? I'm like, they money? When I got there, they asked me like 3 questions and they're like, so when can you start? I'm like, that's it? That's all you guys needed? Like, you're not gonna ask me nothing else? Mind you, I was just yapping the entire interview. I didn't have any kind of experience to back it up whatsoever. And I got it and I was like, oh. And I was so excited that day too. Like, she ain't got a clue in the world. Never trust a job that hires you quickly. Lesson learned, okay? Like, she put me on a schedule like almost immediately. Like, I came in and like I basically just got hired. And first of all, you have to go through a training process. That was tacky. Our uniforms were pretty ugly, I'm not gonna lie, but they were comfortable nonetheless, so to be inclusive and whatnot. Also, never showed y'all the evidence that I worked there. Hold on. Okay, a little evidence for y'all in case y'all don't believe me. I got proof. I was in fact I was a little like, I was an elite employee. Let me tell you something. The first thing that happened to me while I worked at McDonald's was losing $50 within like the first 2 weeks I was there. You know, like $50 like out of the cash register. Like they counted my money. You have to count your money when you're a registered person, and the first thing they train you is a register. Now this is my first job ever, so I didn't really know how the whole change thing worked. Like I knew like how to give change, like basic change, but when people would give me like $100 bills and like the register doesn't have any like money to, you know, do the exchange, and I hated people like that. Like, why are you giving me $100 for a $10 meal? Not even, no, it'll be like a $7 meal and you're giving me $100 and it's 9 a.m. in the morning. We do not have change for you. Like, don't come in and expect us to be your bank. Mind you, the bank opens at 9. Like, the local bank in that area opens at 9. McDonald's is open at like 6. Why are you coming in at like 8 a.m. trying to get some change? Not even 8 a.m. Why are you coming in at like 11 a.m. trying to get some change? The bank is open. The bank gives you change. The first time I ever got a bill that big and I like try to calculate it, like I was like, oh, there's no money in the register. So I told the manager and they were like, oh yeah, you're right. And then they go and they give me like the 50, they give me like the money, and I'm thinking they just gave me the exact change. So I gave the person the $50. I gave the person like some dollars. It was probably a little bit more than that now that I'm like thinking back. And I gave them the money and I was like, you have a good day. And I think if I remember, the person looked at me weird, but who's gonna reject $50 extra? So they just took the money. And at the end of the day, they're like, girl, you're missing like $50 out your register. I'm like, I don't know how I did that. And at the time, I really did not know how I did that. But now looking back, I'm like, eek, I just killed their like thing or whatever. Another crazy thing I had during the training process was when they put me on fries on a Friday. and it was like my third week working there. So at the time, I didn't really know how to do fries. All you have to do, like in terms of fry station, is like take the bag, dump the fries in the thing, dip the fries in, wait for the timer to go off, take the fries out, put them in this little tray, throw the salt shaker, and then shake them, right? That's the basis. Look, 6-year-old me was lost. And it was also my third week here. And if you eat at McDonald's, you know that on the app, fries were free. They aren't anymore. They're now like $1 if you buy something else. Let's say capitalism, right? They literally put me on the fry station, and I guess they were giving me a test run, but I have never seen so many people come in for fries in my life. And on top of that, the same people who come in for fries are also like, I need my fries fresh, no salt. And I'm like, how do you, I don't even, no support, no nothing. We were definitely understaffed that day. I think that's why they put me on fries in the first place. But like, the drive-thru was out the street, and the people in the thing, and I was a slave. I think about that day often, honestly. I think they kicked me off because I was just so bad, and they put me back on register. And it took me a second to figure out register, but register was relatively easy. You just press whatever buttons you are, and yeah, give or take, give or take. We're gonna move a little over to the desk here, so that's training. Okay, so I'm also listening to Mr. Daniel Caesar's Fruity Pebbles? Freudian? You catching my drift, the album from 2017. Let me tell you some side stories while we're on the horror part. So obviously I worked there for, I think, a year exactly. One of the things they would make us do when there was nothing to do, if you could leave clean, right? They, like, one of the managers, she came over and she was like, she came in one day and we were just like, we were sitting on the wall, but we were like on register or whatever. And she was looking at the wall and she was like, do you see the thumbprints on this wall? Just making up time. She was just yapping. She was like, do y'all see the fingerprints on this wall? Girl, don't even. Like, and so me and the whatever other person was there, we're looking at the wall. We don't see any fingerprints. Not a fingerprint in sight. And she was like, you know, you don't got anything to do. You could go ahead and grab a thing and start wiping them down. Why be cleaning walls? Like, she was looking at me and I'm looking at her, and then the other person's looking at me and we're looking at each other, and then we're like looking at her and we're like, what fingerprints? Also, these were not like fingerprints like somebody stuck their hands on the back wall, but it was just like natural fingerprint because we're bumping into each other, we're trying to move in and out, like just it kind of happens. And nobody can see these fingerprints unless you look very closely. And the McDonald's wasn't clean to begin with anyway. Why she was worried about fingerprints on the wall was beyond me, but okay. And also, the ice cream machine genuinely would always break. Like, I know McDonald's has that stereotype, like, oh, they never have a working ice cream machine. We never had a working ice cream machine. And the ice cream machine is connected to, it was connected to milkshakes. So if the ice cream went down, so did the milkshakes. And it was like the weirdest process ever to like get it back to like working. Like, it would take a few days. You know what else was really crazy while I was there? I think this happened later in like my time when I was working there. There was an incident, I think it was on a particular Friday. We were just doing our normal job and they were like, oh, just beware because you might have to evacuate because a car is on fire. A car? Yes, a car. 20 feet away from the buildings. Okay, wait, I don't even think I could draw this out. Let me find a, let me show you, This is the building, right? And so to like get outside the building, there's like a drive-through. Sorry, the demonstration is crazy, but the drive-through kind of goes like from here to here, right? This is the out, and then this is like into the main street right here. This is all Main Street, and then this is like the drive-through, right? This is where we are. This is like where the front desk is. So you have to go out this door and then go like out. You could, I don't even know how it happened because it's on the other side of the street. You're supposed to go out this way, but somehow on this main street right here, there's a window connecting from here to here. There's a window connecting from here to here. We could see it. So we're like, girl, what are you talking about? We literally walked to this little section, this little kiosk, and all we see is this car up in flames, like, and it was like movie flames, like it genuinely was huge, and the car was just like, there was police sirens and there was like firefighters out there, and they were trying to put out this huge car fire. And mind you, this is a Friday. First of all, Fridays are already busy as it is, but like this was a calm Friday. It was the most simple day we've ever had. And all of a sudden, there's just a car that it just blew up. Like, we didn't close down or anything because McDonald's will close down short of death. Even all around, my viewfinder's fighting for its life, y'all. Crashing down, it's all around with what's lost cannot be found. Where was I at? I was literally at the part. I was midway through, right? Okay, so some of the most horrific stories actually happen through drive-through, which if any of you have worked in not even just McDonald's, any food service that has a drive-through, you know those little headphones have the same sound quality as when you take a can and you start speaking to it, and you're like in grade school or whatever, when you're like speaking through a can and trying to hear through something, like, you can catch my drift? You can't hear a damn thing. Like, it was like morning time, and I usually don't work morning shifts, so I don't have to deal with the morning breakfast rush. Anyway, this particular day, I was working drinks, like, only, and there's 2 other people on drive-thru, usual, and this dude, he comes up, and I hear a little rumble, so you know I'm a little tuned in, right? He literally comes to the window. He's already upset about something that happened, right? And so they give him his food and he like drives off. But then like the line isn't going and we're not hearing anything through like the beeper. So I look over. Literally 5 seconds later, I see the man at the drive-through window, not with his car, like physically standing outside the window. Hello? Hello? I'm like, mind you, breakfast is the worst time to work at McDonald's because literally everybody wants McDonald's breakfast. And this is like Saturday too, so you know people are trying to get in, get out, get in, get out. And this man is stopping the whole like outside traffic. There's a line outside the street as usual. And he's like tapping on the window. So one of the guys, he opens it and he's like, yeah, do you need something? And he was like, and the man has his bagel. He's like, is this steak? Is this steak? And I'll look over because I'm nosy. The other girl that's working over there, she look over. Now we're both looking over. This dude is standing there watching this man open his sandwich and being like, where's the steak? Where's the steak? There's no steak. This is not a steak bagel. First of all, why are you getting steak bagels from McDonald's anyway? I kid you not, there's 2 things you don't get at McDonald's, and that is the fish fillet and anything steak. It's not real. It's not real. That's kangaroo ankles. Do not get the steak bagel and do not get the fish fillet. I can vouch for the fish fillet though, in terms of like how they cook it. That's fine. I have no idea how they cook the steak. I'm gonna be so honest with you. In the year I worked there, all I know is that we had steak bagels, but I never figured out how they made it. Dude is like, oh my gosh, there's no steak in this. And people complain. Sorry, I'm sidetracking again. People complain, but they don't want anything out of the complaining. Like, if someone's gonna complain, you would think they're gonna ask for their money back. You would think they're gonna ask if I can get a new one. You would think they're gonna ask, what can you do about this sandwich or this situation? But instead, no, they just come to complain and leave. They're gonna still take their sandwich with them. We offered to he offered to get him another sandwich, and he was like, you know what, no, it's fine. He takes the sandwich and literally like throws it through the window, hits the dude like straight in his forehead, like it rebounded, right? Again, don't trust the steak because the velocity of how it like bounced off his forehead and like back into the window, that's not real food. That is not real food. He had to close the window because he was like 3 seconds away from punching this dude anyway. He throws the bagel back in and he drives, and I guess he walks off because his car is somewhere between where the car is and like where the other cars are, like in the first window, and his car. Like, I don't know how he got out of his car to go up to the drive-thru window instead of coming like through the like main entrance so he could talk to one of us. I don't know, but that was crazy to witness in real time. I actually had food thrown at me too. I had while we're talking about food, I had a slushy and a smoothie thrown at me. I think there was a woman who like wanted sweet and sour sauce, but they were under this whole rule thing at the time where you can only get like 1 sauce per like Happy Meal. And so I gave her 2 barbecue sauce. I gave her 2 sweet and sours and 1 barbecue or something like that. Because we were out of sweet and sour sauce. And so I gave her 2 sweet and sour sauces and a barbecue because I was like, we don't have another sweet and sour sauce. We never did. We never had sweet and sour sauce to save our lives. And so this particular time, like, and she was being dramatic about it. I'm like, it's just an extra sweet and sour sauce. And so I give her a barbecue, whatever. Because I'm not trying to have my manager up my butt about sauce, right? But this woman is up my butt about sauce. So I'm sitting here and I'm like, yeah, we don't really have any more sweet and sour. She's like, you know what, never mind, take the whole meal back. So she's giving me the Happy Meals back, and she ordered 3 slushies, I guess, 2. And instead of handing me the slushie, she like tips it over, and like some of it gets on me, and then some of it gets like on like the drive-thru window, and then some of it ends up on the floor. And then she just drives away full speed. Mind you, I don't get how these people drive away full speed, because in order to get out of McDonald's, you have to get like onto the main road, and that main road is always busy. Let me tell you about this one time I instigated a fight in the middle of it. I instigated a fight at McDonald's too. There was this guy, and he like, there was this YN. We get a lot of those at the McDonald's. He like ran in and then ran through the back door, and then like 3 other guys, ski mask, tall, you know, the whole stereotype, fit the bill, right? They come in, there's like 3 of them, and they're like, hey, did you see, they look normal at the time to me, but like, they're up to something suspicious. And I'm sitting here and I'm talking about some, and they come in and they're like, hey, have you seen like a guy like this height, 17-year-old? I was like, yeah, I did. He like went out the back window. Or he went, back window's crazy. He went out the back door. And they had the walk of like, like, I'm coming to beat you up. And I was like, wait, and then somebody else came in. He was like, wait, did you just send those guys out? And I was like, yeah. And then I was like, wait, were they trying to jump that man? My fault. If that man even knew I existed, my fault. Like, I sent your whole op. I sent all of your ops directly, like, your way. Some highlights. Let's do some highlights, yes? The one time I called 2 women slow through a drive-thru, they were taking too long to order an iced tea, and they were like, can we get, like, they were like trying to decide whether they wanted ice in their iced tea or not, because, you know, you lose all common sense when you go to a drive-thru. And I'm sitting there like, the iced tea is gonna be cold regardless. And I say this like through the speaker, and they're like, huh girl, what'd you say? And I was like, oh, okay. Like, I didn't say it out loud, but I was like, oh brother. And then they come to complain to the manager, and the manager came to me and she did the whole, you know, you're not supposed to talk about the customers. Like, we all agreed that they were a little, like, cute highlight was how I walked 30 minutes from my local like high school to get to work. It wasn't really 30 minutes. Was it? It was more like 15. I walked fast. I don't know why I never took the bus. Like, after school on Friday, I would work Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I would go to work on Friday afternoon, and I would always, you know, my back was so big because I used to walk like a mile and some change to get to work, change in the bathroom, and then while I was like still sweaty and kind of smelly from outside, I would order a 10-piece nugget meal, side with a large caramel frappuccino, and usually a sweet treat like a cookie. Every Friday I worked. Like, I'm going back to, like, I used to work Friday, Saturday, Sunday consistently, right? I used to get a consistent vibe, and then like halfway, maybe this is like December, like after Christmas or whatever, I was on the schedule once, and we get paid bi-weekly. Like, at the time we got paid bi-weekly, so I was on the schedule once. And the reason why like I ended up quitting in the first place is because I was just not getting any shifts. I would work one shift, one singular shift every 2 weeks, $50 every 2 weeks. Yes. Was I happier not being at work? Yes. But realistically, like, $50 was nothing. Like, and so I quit. I didn't even properly quit. I didn't tell y'all. I didn't even really properly quit. I literally like, oh, I'm about to quit. And then I got another job while I was still working at McDonald's, and then I called them one day and I was like, I am putting in my 2 weeks. And they're like, okay. And then she was like, okay, so I'll see you Monday. And at the time, I'm thinking like, put in my 2 weeks, in 2 weeks, y'all just go take me off. Like, you don't put me on the schedule anyway. But I was like, see you on Monday, and I was like, girl, what do you mean? Like, I quit. Like, I'm not coming back. It was like clockwork. Like, 1 week I was here, the next week I was there. I'm like giggling so much for a horror story. I honestly try to avoid the place as much as possible, but when I do go in there, I always say hi, and I always, you know, be cordial. I don't say hi to any of the managers though. All my favorite managers quit, honestly. It was really just the managers that would kill the vibe. They were just so mad at the world. I'll be mad too, damn. That's basically my horror story. That's literally my entire McDonald's experience summed up into however many minutes this video is gonna be. I also did not clean my room. I spent so much time yapping, I lost track. But yeah, let me know if you guys want an Ulta horror story, because I definitely have an Ulta. I got a little Ulta for you guys. Yeah, I think I can take something from this experience. Never work at McDonald's again. McDonald's was some good character development. That's the better word. Also, it's getting very dark in here. I don't know how bad this footage is gonna look, so yeah. I guess that's it on this video. Let me know if you guys want more story times. I don't do story times. I don't like to yap to you guys too much, but check me out here, check me out on TikTok, subscribe if you want. I'm pretty chill. I don't know, I guess, like, y'all people think I'm cool, so I guess I keep making videos. Toodles.